Hello, my lovely people. It's your host, Smart, once again. And today's football menu was not light snack. It was full buffet with extra pepper. We've got goals, comebacks, how did you miss that moments, and that special kind of defending where the backline is basically doing charity work. Let's start in the Premier League with the loudest statement. Liverpool 5, West Ham 2. 5 goals means two things. You were ruthless, and you also didn't feel like keeping things peaceful for your blood pressure. Liverpool didn't just win, they entertained, and they did it with that wave after wave rhythm. Win the ball, hit the next action, force mistakes, punish mistakes. West Ham had moments, but Liverpool's pressure and delivery into dangerous zones kept stacking problems until something broke. And once the goals start flowing, confidence becomes contagious. One player takes a risk, the next player believes, and suddenly the stadium feels like it's playing too. That result is massive for the league table picture. Because it's not just 3 points. It's momentum, goal swing, and a reminder to everyone chasing the top places that Liverpool can turn matches into avalanches when they smell fear. Now Leeds 0, Manchester City 1. And this was the classic City win without looking like they've even taken off their suit jacket. It's not always fireworks with City. Sometimes it's just control, patience, and one moment of quality that decides the whole story. When City win games like this, it hurts rivals even more because it tells you, even on our quieter days, we still collect points. For the title race, these are the victories that keep pressure on the team above them. The ones where you look up at the table and think, wait, they won again? Leeds will be frustrated because a 1-0 is always one decision, one transition, one set piece away from swinging. But City's structure is designed to reduce chaos. And if you don't take your best chance against them, they usually make you pay later. Now let's go to Newcastle 2. Everton 3, because this one was pure drama. 5 goals, emotional swings, and the kind of finish that makes fans start texting apology messages to their hearts. Everton taking this away result is huge, not just emotionally, but strategically. These are the games that change a season's direction because they prove you can suffer, respond, and still land the punch that matters. For Newcastle, it's the painful lesson. When you're chasing big targets, you cannot keep giving away cheap moments. One lapse, one loose duel, one lost runner. And the whole game turns into a rescue mission. Everton will talk about belief and bravery. Newcastle will talk about we need to manage the game better, which is the polite way of saying we gave them the door and they walked through it. And in terms of the table, results like this can drag one team into a serious push, while leaving the other feeling like they dropped more than just points, they dropped control. Burnley 3, Brentford 4. This was one of those matches where defending is optional and vibes are mandatory. 7 goals means the attackers had fun, the goalkeepers had a long day, and the coaches probably aged 5 years by halftime. Brentford winning a game like this tells you something. They can scrap, they can trade punches, and they can stay brave even when the match becomes chaos. Burnley scoring 3 and still losing is the cruelest version of football. You do enough to think you deserve something, then one moment flips it. For the relegation picture, these games matter because they're 6-pointers with emotional damage. Brentford walk away with belief. Burnley walk away with questions. Why are we conceding so many big chances? And why do we keep needing to score 3 to feel safe? And when you're near the bottom, defensive stability isn't a luxury, it's survival. Now, before we leave England, let's talk about what these results do to the big storylines. For the title race, City winning again matters because it keeps the pressure hot. The team at the top doesn't just need to win, they need to win while feeling City breathing down their neck. Liverpool scoring 5 matters because it sends a warning. If you slip once, we're right there. That's why fans love goals. But managers love points. And right now, the teams with points are the teams with control. For the top 4 race, wins like Liverpool's are a double impact. You gain 3 points and you also shake confidence in the teams around you. Newcastle losing a 5-goal thriller is dangerous because it's the kind of result that can turn into a mini run of frustration if you don't respond quickly. And for teams sitting just outside those places, this is where the season gets real. You stop talking about potential and start talking about must win. For the relegation battle, Burnley-Brentford is exactly the kind of match that becomes a turning point. When you're fighting to stay up, you can't keep treating defending like it's a suggestion. You need boring, you need ugly, you need clean sheets, because pretty football with holes in it gets you relegated. That scoreline is loud. It's the kind of win that makes people forget last week's noise and start tweeting we're back with chest. Barcelona didn't just beat Villarreal. They controlled the tempo, they punished openings, and they looked like a team that knows exactly what it wants to do in the final third. And when Barca play like that, the message to the league is simple. If you want the title, you're going to have to take it from us. Villarreal are not tourists, they can play. But when Barcelona are sharp and their attacking patterns connect, teams start defending deeper, which creates even more space for Barca's midfield and wide players to run the game. For the table, wins like this matter because it's not only points, it's confidence, it's momentum, and it forces Real Madrid and Atletico to keep answering every week. Now Germany, Borussia Dortmund 2, Bayern Munich 3. And yes, Der Klassiker delivered the chaos tax. Bayern winning 3-2 at Dortmund is the kind of result that can define a title run, because it's not just we won, it's we won there. In matches like this, Bayern's experience becomes a weapon. They don't panic when the game becomes emotional, they don't stop believing when the stadium lifts, and they punish mistakes like it's part of their religion. Dortmund scoring twice tells you they had fight and quality, but conceding 3 in a game this big tells you the margins at the top are still punishing them. And tactically, games like this usually come down to 2 things: who manages transitions better and who defends the box with more discipline when the match turns into end-to-end madness. Bayern leaving with 3 points boosts more than the table. It boosts belief. Dortmund leaving with 2 goals but 0 points boosts frustration. Now let's bring it all together, because SmartSportStudio isn't just results, we do meaning. Liverpool putting 5 past West Ham says, we can win ugly and we can win loud. City winning 1-0 says, we can win even when you're bored. Everton winning a thriller says, we're not folding. Brentford winning 4-3 says, we'll outfight you and outscore you. Barcelona winning 4-1 says, we're steering this league with confidence. Bayern winning 3-2 says, big games don't scare us, big games feed us. And here's the fun lesson for today. There are 2 types of teams in football. The first type wants the match to be a movie. The second type wants the match to be a spreadsheet. Movies are fun, but spreadsheets win titles. Now I've got one question for you, and I need honesty in the comments. Which result shocked you the most? Everton stealing it, Burnley conceding 4 again, or Bayern winning a Klassiker that had draw written all over it? Drop your takes, drop your predictions for the next round of fixtures, like the video, subscribe, and stay locked in. This is Smart. And at SmartSportStudio, we don't just report football, we explain why it hits different. Family, we're peeling back a huge story straight from La Liga. Barcelona's big win at Villarreal, with Flick buzzing, Yamal dancing, and a tactical twist that tells you what Barca really might be cooking for the title run. Let's dig in. Barcelona traveled to Villarreal and came back with a 4-1 scoreline that wasn't just about goals. It was a statement. Lamine Yamal's first professional hat trick stole the headlines, but the coach's analysis afterwards is where the real story lives. Hansi Flick said he was very happy with the result and the performance overall. Winning 4-1 on the road isn't a coincidence. It's a sign that Flick's methods are taking shape. High intensity, smart pressing, and measured confidence. Flick explicitly credited the team's work rather than just the goals, highlighting how effectively Barcelona pressed and regained the ball in key moments. Now let's talk about Lamine Yamal, because potential doesn't begin to describe what we saw. This performance wasn't just explosive, it was emotional. He admitted that he hadn't been fully happy on the pitch for a spell due to pubalgia. Now, he's back to smiling and enjoying his football, and that's huge. Confidence becomes unshakable. What makes this head-turning is how and when the goals came. The first started with intense winning of possession. The second was a dazzling solo run. The third was delivered on a counter that showed Barcelona have the gut instinct to pounce when transition moments arrive. So the takeaway here isn't only scoreline dominance, it's momentum control. A 4-1 away win says a team can manage pressure, respond when challenged, and still crack open an opponent's defense. And that matters for La Liga title stakes. Barcelona's lead at the top grew to 4 points with this win. And that's no small detail. Every time you extend the gap, you force your rivals, especially Real Madrid, to play catch-up under pressure. Flick's comments after the game were clever. He praised the press, lauded individual quality, and even acknowledged that confidence and emotion are part of the football story, saying, "We pressed well and everyone played well" is tactical language. It's like saying, "We executed our plan." And let's be honest, when a youngster like Yamal gets a hat trick and smiles about it, it's not just a headline, it's a catalyst. Confidence is contagious in the dressing room. Teams that feel good win games, and teams that believe they can challenge every opponent end up topping tables. So what's the real story here? Flick's happy because this Barcelona performance looked like a system that's finding rhythm. Yamal's quality showed up in moments of pressure and space creation. Villarreal were pushed back by a Barca team that didn't just control the ball, they controlled the moment. Now let me ask you something. Is this the match where Barcelona finally turned the tide and became real title favorites? Or was it just a brilliant night on brilliant legs? Family. This headline comes with both goals and feelings, because football is one of the few sports where scoring a hat trick can be tactical, emotional, and psychological, all in the same breath. The headline reads, "I smile when I play now," Yamal admits after recent celebration following career hat trick. And on the surface, it may sound like a cute quote from a young genius. But if you dig a little deeper, what Yamal is saying here is actually much bigger than one smile. Let's break it down. When a young player like Lamine Yamal, who we've seen score world-class goals but also go through spells of frustration, says, "I smile when I play now," he's not just talking about happiness. He's talking about confidence returning. You see, confidence in football is less a feeling and more a timing mechanism. It's what tells a player go for the shot 5/millionths of a second before anybody else does. And when a player hesitates even one split second, even subconsciously, and the opponent senses it, that hesitation becomes the difference between a goal and a saved shot. So what Yamal's quote really reflects is this: he's comfortable, he's enjoying himself, he's not second-guessing decisions in the final third. And that's huge for a player who's still young, still developing, and still carrying the expectations that come with being Barcelona's rising star. Let's be honest, football fans often expect young attackers to scream every week, to be magical every match, to be fearless every time. But in reality, scoring goals at the top level is one of the hardest psychological challenges in sports. Goals don't come from skills, they come from conviction under pressure. And when Yamal says, "I smile when I play now," he's admitting that he's shed some fear, that a burden got lighter, that he's enjoying the creative process again. Remember, before his recent hat trick, Yamal talked about not being fully happy with his play. And that, my friends, is the moment where pressure becomes emotional noise. Confidence isn't just finishing chances, it's being comfortable taking chances. So the fact that Yamal smiles now suggests he believes in the system. He trusts his decision-making. He's no longer self-punishing over small mistakes. He's back to joy-based football, not fear-based football. And that is why this headline is not just cute player quote. It's insight into a young player's evolution. Now let's talk about why this matters so much. Barcelona are in a title race. They're in a tactical readjustment phase under Flick. They need not only goals, but consistency. And consistent goal scoring at the elite level isn't built on tension. It's built on rhythm and comfort. When a player smiles, they take more risks, educated risks, because they aren't afraid of consequences anymore. And goals, especially hat tricks, tend to come not from panic, not from pressure, but from positive freedom. So Yamal's smiling suggests he's mentally ready for big moments. He's enjoying his football rather than overthinking it. He's no longer afraid of failure in the final third. He's becoming dangerous by instinct, not by accident. And that's a big difference. Now let's talk one more layer. Tactics. A lot of people think forwards just need space and speed, but at the top level, forwards also need confidence to take space and make speed count, because defenders don't give up space willingly. They take it away with pressure and with physicality. When a young attacker smiles, it means he feels comfortable in contact, meaning he's not afraid to take that first touch into traffic, to take a chance on a tricky pass, or to sprint into a half-open channel. That's dangerous. Because confident attackers don't wait for opportunities. They force them. And Yamal's words tell us exactly that. He's not waiting anymore. He's going after them with joy. Now let's finish with the big takeaway. If Barcelona are going to turn this season from promising into memorable, if they want to actually lift trophies instead of just floating near them, if they want to handle pressure games, late goals, close margins, psychological warfare, they need players who believe in themselves, not just in the plan. And Yamal's smile might just be the unexpected engine that shifts belief into reality. So here's my question for you. Do you think Yamal's mental shift is bigger than the hat trick itself? Does a player smiling on the pitch tell us more than we think? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Because at SmartSportStudio, we don't just celebrate goals, we decode the meaning behind them. I'm Smart, and I'll see you in the next deep breakdown.